Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omni with TGN and GG, and this time, what I have decided to do is one of my favorite games, honestly, and I have it so modded now that it's a whole new game. It honestly is, and to me, it is just so impressive and so fun. And it's Skyrim, and it's modded to crap. I have probably around 70 mods here. So what I'm going to do is start doing Let's Plays on Skyrim with it heavily modded, and I'm messing up my timer as we speak. Hold on, give me 1 second. There we go. And okay, so yeah, it's just one of the most impressive games I've ever played. I tried to do a Let's Play on this before, and I was having a very tough time getting my mods to work together. Like I said, it's about 70 mods, so the compatibility was bad between a few, and it wouldn't allow me to play the game, and if it did, it was very, very glitchy. So what I've decided to do, and also I had it in a low resolution, so in some spots it was just so dark with the lighting mods that you couldn't even really see what I was doing, so I've decided to do it all over again in full 1080p now that I got new recording software. And so let's get started here. What I'm going to show you first, guys, I wanted to kind of do a tutorial, brief tutorial, because there's already tutorials on YouTube of how to use the mods, how to get the mods installed. But I at least wanted to show you Nexus Mod Manager and the mods that I am using in case you wanted to have a similar experience with your Skyrim. Now, this first Let's Play, it's going to be about 15 minutes for each one, maybe a little bit longer, but if you do not want to see the tutorial, I'd recommend probably just skipping to Let's Play number 2, because this one is going to be about the mods mainly. So let's get started. This is Nexus Mod Manager. I definitely recommend using this. If you have Skyrim on Steam, you're going to be using the Steam Workshop as well to find mods. And then the links, they'll have links within their mods to download them on the Nexus Mod Manager. And I would recommend doing that versus downloading them and subscribing off of the Steam Workshop, which will also work, but it's a lot harder to manage your mods and tell what's working. It's a lot easier to put them into the Nexus Mod Manager and handle it through here. That's just my opinion, so I'd recommend getting this. So we'll take a quick gander at what I've downloaded. I don't know if I want to go through all of these. This is probably just half of them as well on here. So first of all, I've got a player home, which is really nice. Not much else to say about that player home. I've got some animals, real wildlife. It adds in a ton of new animals out in the wildlife, and also in the wilderness, and also in Skyrim, you know how it was always, creatures are always the same size, basically. A troll's a troll. It's always going to be the same size. A spider is generally a spider. There's the smaller spiders and then there's the big spiders, but there's nothing really in between. There's no variance. This adds new animals and variance between animals. That's as much as I'm going to say right now. If I talk too much about each one of these, it'll take forever. Immersive creatures along the same lines. Animation, no spinning death. They kind of had this old spinning death when they died in vanilla Skyrim. Kind of annoying, not realistic. That mod fixes it. Immersive Armors adds more armors into the game. A lot. Now, these are all sound packs. So some of them are for dungeons. Some of them are for the wild. Some of them are for the towns and whatnot. And they just add in a bunch of more sounds to make it more immersive, more realistic. Just more variety in sounds, basically. Bug fixes. This is Skyrim shadow striping fix. There's shadows kind of mess up in vanilla Skyrim. This fixes it. Cities and towns. Visible windows. Honestly, I don't even remember what the heck that does. Cities and towns enhanced. Markarth. Just makes the town, puts more stuff into the town. And I have a few of those that are located under other sections. Clothing improves NPC's clothing. Makes it high resolution and makes them wear more variety of stuff. Underwater treasure. Exactly this sounds. Combat, locational damage. This one is really awesome. Long story short, what it does is it makes it more realistic. So if somebody gets hit in the leg, they're going to take leg damage. If somebody gets shot in the head with an arrow, they're going to take a headshot damage. And it'll actually show you these things when you hit. It'll say left arm critical, left leg critical, headshot critical, and something else that it does, if you get hit, say, in the stomach or maybe the neck or something, and you don't die from the shot, you have a chance to bleed out. So that's pretty awesome, and so do the NPCs as well. Ultimate Combat, this just fixes some combat stuff. WARZONES, this is so awesome. You always hear about how the Stormcloak and the Imperials are having this war against each other, but when you're out in the open, you never actually see any wars happening. Well, this fixes that. Long story short, it makes there be tons of random war zones within Skyrim that are just, they can be massive. They can be a small little battle going on between some Stormcloaks and Imperials, or they could be a massive battle. I haven't played too much yet with this mod, but I have seen at least one battle happen, and it was pretty amazing. Deadly Mutilation. I don't really use this mod, so yeah, we're not going to talk about it. Dungeons. This adds a new dungeon called the Rabbit Hole. If you read right here real quick, the Rabbit Hole is an area-style 50-stage combat dungeon. Haven't tried it yet. Let's see, what else do we got? E and B presets. I'm not using any of those right now. Those are for lighting mainly. Environment. I got HD trees, better water, birds and bird flocks, more birds in the game. Let's see, gameplay and effect changes. Athletics training. This is one of my favorite right here. One thing that I thought was missing from Skyrim that was in Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, and Morrowind was the ability to improve how fast you run and how high you jump. That wasn't in Skyrim, and it kind of disappointed me because, I mean, you're a Khajiit, you're a cat person, but you can only jump like 2 feet off the ground. I don't know about that. So this fixes that. The more you swim, the more you run, you can improve upon your skills and jump higher, run faster, etc., etc. Really awesome mod. Arrows and bolt tweaks. I usually like to play as a stealth class, which is what I'm going to be doing for this Let's Play. It is my favorite class. So I'm usually an archer, and what this does is it gives you a bunch of different types of arrows and increases their damage and things like that. So it's a really good mod for anybody that's playing an archer type class. Bloody facials. This one allows, before, I don't know if anybody ever noticed this, but UV maps for blood weren't designed to be located on the face of an NPC or yourself, so the blood would cut off at the neck. This fixes that. Enhanced level gameplay. I don't even remember what this does, honestly. Is intended to expand upon Skyrim's late gameplay. So I guess, you know how you get all OP late game, I guess this is supposed to increase the mobs levels as you get into late game. Pretty awesome. Achieve that. This is like an achievement tracker. Drink, eat, sleep, bathe. This is actually pretty awesome. It gives you needs for all these things. So now you have to eat, you have to drink, you have to sleep. You don't have to bathe. I never turn that on, but you can. So your character gets dirtier the more you're out, which is really cool. I just got it for the immersion. It's cool to have to think about a little more than just running out and killing. You got to make sure that you're fed, that you've slept, that you have enough food and drink on you. So I like that personally. If you don't like going that far with it and you think that's cumbersome, what's cool about the mod is you can adjust how hungry you get, the duration, the decay rate basically. When you're hungry, how fast. When you're not hungry, how fast do you become hungry? And same for sleep and drink. So next one is realistic ragdoll force. You know how you'll kill somebody in Skyrim sometimes and they'll go flying like 50 feet for like the most ridiculous reason. Like an arrow's not going to send somebody 50 feet through the scene, you know what I mean? So this kind of fixes that and makes the forces of ragdolls more realistic. If you enjoy them flying all far, don't get this. Run for your lives. This makes it to where when there's a dragon attack, people don't just go fight the dragon, they'll run inside. Hair and face. Makes hair look better, face look better. Enhanced character edit. This just gives you more choices when you're editing your character. I need a drink really bad. Sorry, hold on. Sorry about that. Alright. Enhanced light and effects. Exactly as it sounds. I really like it. Makes it darker in the dark areas. Sometimes in Skyrim, dungeons are really lit up when there's really no light source, and they shouldn't be, so this fixes all that. And you're going to see in this Let's Play, it's really dark in some dungeons. But I'm a Khajiit and I have night vision, so I got this. And I also have a mod for that where it makes the Khajiit night vision not be so annoying. Okay, immersive Skyrim Thunder, exactly how it sounds. Immersive patrols, this is really cool. Basically, it just makes random things happen out in the world. that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Frostfall. Frostfall, this is really cool. It makes it to where you can actually get hypothermia. Basically, you have to pay attention to your temperature just as in real life. If it's freezing and snowing outside, you're not going to jump in a negative 20-degree river and then just keep standing out in the snow and be okay. So it gives you the ability to make a camp, wear furs and stuff over your gear to keep you warm, and you need to sit by fire, etc., etc. It's pretty awesome. Even better quest objectives. Better description of quests, I think, is what that was. Wet and cold holidays. People, the civilians, react to the wet and cold. Basically, wet and cold, this allows me to get wet and cold, and you can see my breath. Guard dialogue. It makes it to where guards say more things, so they're not just saying the same stuff all the time. Dynamic fires improves the fire, makes the physics of fire better. Wearable lanterns. Since it's so dark in some dungeons, I got wearable lanterns, so I can wear a lantern on me to provide myself some light. Items and objects. What is this? Oh, lighter dragon bones and scales. This is pretty nice. You know, when you kill a dragon and you're like, oh man, these scales are worth so much, but I can only carry one until I'm over encumbered. Yeah, that's kind of annoying because they weigh in at like 1 billion pounds per scale, so that's kind of tough to get them back to your vendor or whoever you're trying to sell them to. So this makes them much lighter, so where you can actually pick up the scales. Kind of OP. If you don't like it, don't get it, but I personally do like it. Magic, this is a huge one. If you're trying to play somebody who's a magic caster and you're sick of vanilla Skyrim's magic, which it does get a little stale, this is for you. Never mind, this isn't that mod. We'll talk about that next. This one, spells give off light. Simple as it sounds. Magic, deadly spell impacts, changes the graphics of spell impacts. This is what I was talking about. Apocalypse, magic of Skyrim. Adds in like 60 new spells into the magic area of Skyrim. Really awesome if you're trying to play a magic type character. Dragon knowledge spell, no idea what this is. Converts extra dragon souls into perk points. That's pretty nice. So yeah, there's that. Modules and textures of blocky faces. Basically all this stuff improves textures, so I'm not going to really go into these much. Blocky faces, detailed faces, the clutter inside of ruins. Skyrim HD 2K texture pack. You can also get that off of Steam. It came free DLC. What is this? Character enhancement. More, yeah, exactly how it sounds. I think it's in character creation. You get more choices. Snow and rocks. It just makes the snow and rocks look better. Real ice, same thing. The beauty of Skyrim dungeons enhances the textures within dungeons. Skyrim floral overhaul. Really recommend this one. Makes all the plants look better in Skyrim. Real glaciers makes the glaciers look better. One new land I downloaded, haven't been there yet. NPCs, amazing followers. This improves big time the followers. You can just do so many more commands now. Very worth it if you're interested in using a follower that's not just completely worthless. Interesting NPCs, exactly as it sounds. They do more stuff now. They say more stuff. It's pretty cool. Better vampires. I read into this, haven't used it yet, but if you enjoy being a vampire in Skyrim, but you think a few things are annoying, like how you can never talk to a vendor because you're too much of a vampire, and the more you increase as a vampire, the more you need to feed because you can't talk to people, but then you feed and have no powers. That type of stuff. If you want a better vampire experience, get Better Vampire 6.6. This is the best mod right here. I was reading into it. Adds like 30 more spells into a vampire. Overall, it just sounds like it makes it a lot better. Project Reality. Climates of Tamriel. This is a must for basically a graphical mod. It does exactly as it sounds. It adds in so many more climate effects into Skyrim. You can have different types of storms now. Different types of lighting, HD sky textures. Trying to think here. Sun glares. Just an all-around overhaul of Skyrim's atmosphere. Really love it. Really worth it. Simple to use. You can get real complicated with some of these lighting mods, but this one I really recommend, and I've tried a bunch of them. Where the heck am I on this list? Okay. Patches. Yeah, I have a couple patches. Couple quests added in. Redone the Dark Brotherhood quest line. Adds like 3 hours extra content at the end. Really nice. This adds random monsters into the world, basically like elite mobs, world bosses into the world, random in different locations. Haven't found one yet, but pretty awesome mod. User interface, better dialogue controls, pretty nice. Sometimes when you click on stuff it doesn't work. This helps that. Sky UI, this is really great. Changes the whole UI, makes it a lot easier to use, less cumbersome, more reactive. Just an all-around good mod right there for the UI. Immersive HUD, this is pretty nice. It takes away basically everything on your HUD until you need it. So basically you'll have nothing there until you start aiming, then your reticle will show up. You'll have nothing there until you start looting, and then your cursor will show up. So I like that personally. Utilities, I'm not even sure what this. Skyrim Universal 4 gig allows Skyrim to utilize 4 gigs of RAM, which I think Steam already did a patch for that, so there's really no need for this mod. Visual upgrades and graphics. I have enhanced blood textures. There's another one called Crimson, right here, Crimson Tide Blood. I think I like enhanced blood textures more. It's basically preference. Do whichever one you want. I use enhanced blood textures, and I will be using that in this Let's Play. Depth of field. If you don't know what depth of field is, basically what you're focusing on will be very clear, and what you're not focusing on, stuff in the background, if you're looking at the foreground, will be blurry, or a little bit blurred out. That is depth of field. Burn freeze, new death animations, basically. If people die from burning, they will burn up, shock, etc. Static mesh improvement improves a bunch of meshes and textures within the game. Very essential for just improving the look of Skyrim. I have an extra sun glare added in. Another water mod. Enhanced terrain, improves paths and all types of terrain. Footprints, this is pretty cool. People leave footprints in the snow, NPCs and you as well. It's kind of nice if you're trying to track somebody or figure out where somebody ran. Just adds to the immersiveness of the game. And it actually can add a gameplay element to it as well, so I really like this. And then more enhanced towns and villages, Riften, Whiterun, and Riverwood. I think I have a few more too. Better dynamic snow does just that. Weapons. I had some longbows added in. This is really nice if you do play an archer. Monster Hunter and Skyrim, I think this is along the same lines as the other one. And then immersive weapons. Adds in a bunch of weapons into the game. And if you guys are still following at this point, I congratulate you. That had to be just boring. It's just extremely boring. My throat hurts. But we're at about 17 minutes right now, so I'm going to call that for the first quote-unquote Let's Play. And in part 2, we're going to get right to it. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will see you guys next time.